Have you ever woke up and thought, just let me get through today? Looked at that person in the mirror and said, I don't even know who that is anymore. You have been so busy surviving that you forgot who you are. You forgot how to dream. You forgot how to do anything more than survive. If that is you, I'm just Janae, and this is Dreams Don't Expire. All that you want is still out there waiting for you. Dare to dream again with me.
All right, 2026 is here, and you get to decide what this new year looks like for you. What are you going to walk in with? Fear or abundance? Are you going to go confidently into your new life, choosing to see the best you? It's so hard to leave those fears behind. It is so hard to decide that you are worth it every single day. I want to kind of just tell you a little bit of my story. So I was going to read from my book, Rise, Believe, Become. This part that I'm getting ready to read, I want you to understand. I had been dealing with my son being paralyzed. My father-in-law had passed of cancer, and I'd helped take care of him. My father had just passed, and then my mom had really recently just passed. And I was living in a state of survival. I had so buried myself in just getting through the day. There was no such thing as confidence, or I was just surviving. I was just trying to get through a moment. And I was scared of everything. My confidence was nothing. And I had this opportunity to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to a weekend conference with Deb Erickson, and it was to work on confidence. And I remember how terrified the thought of that even was, to get on an airplane by myself, to travel by myself, to a place where I was going to know nobody. I was going to have to get an Uber to the hotel. I was going to have to be eating by myself. It was absolute fear. But there was a part of me that knew I had to find who I was again. I had to believe in myself again. And so I knew this journey was absolutely everything I needed. And yet I fought it. I fought going so hard. As much as I was telling myself I needed to go, I found reasons not to. And so here's my journey there, and my first step into believing in what I could be. Then came the invitation, a 3-day live event to Albuquerque, learning to become confident with Deb. Everything in me resisted. I had all the excuses lined up before the email had even finished loading. Too much money, too far away, traveling alone, leaving my family to figure things out without me. It was impractical, indulgent, maybe even irresponsible. But beneath all those excuses was the truth. I was afraid. Afraid of being seen, afraid of being vulnerable, and afraid that if I invested in myself, I might discover I wasn't enough after all. When I finally admitted it out loud to my husband, he listened quietly. He has always had this way of grounding me with just a few words, cutting through all the noise in my head. He asked me 3 simple questions. Do you want to go? Can we afford it? And why haven't you signed up? I sat there in silence, realizing how often I let fear disguise itself as practicality. So I did it. I signed up, terrified but determined. So walking into the event felt like stepping into another world. The room buzzed with energy I hadn't felt in years. It wasn't just excitement. It was something deeper. Women showing up for themselves. Some for the first time in their lives. Laughters that came from a raw, honest place, and tears spilled freely without shame. I found myself surrounded by women I'd never met before. Yet somehow they felt like instant sisters. We sat in circles, sharing stories we had hidden for years. We laughed until our sides ached, We cried until our faces were streamed with mascara. We confessed fears that had lived in our bones for decades. And in doing so, we began to dismantle the walls that had kept us small. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone. They understood. And then came the moment that changed me forever. Deb walked onto stage holding something strange in her hand, an arrow. At first I thought it was some kind of prop, maybe a metaphor about focus or direction, but then she lifted it to her throat and placed the tip of her arrow in that soft hollow where the collarbones met. I braced the feather end against a wood board. I froze. Surely she wasn't going to. But before I could finish the thought, she inhaled deeply, stepped forward, and snapped the arrow in two. The crack echoed through the room. Gasps followed. I sat there stunned, my pulse hammering in my ears. She just broke an arrow with her throat. And then, as if it weren't shocking enough, assistants began walking to the tables, passing out arrows to each of us. I stared at the one in my hand. The blunt tip gleamed under the lights. I felt my stomach drop. Oh, hell no, I thought. There is no way I was pressing that against my throat. No way I was willingly walking into that kind of pain. No way. Then the louder question rose up inside me, drowning out the panic. Why am I here if not for this? And if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the first because I don't want to watch others and give myself the opportunity to chicken out. So I stood up trembling. Deb had me practice 3 deep breaths and a step forward. Then stood there waiting, calm and steady, holding my board. She smiled at me, not with pity, but with absolute belief I didn't have in myself yet. She placed the feather end of the arrow against the wood. Then she guided the point into the hollow of my throat. I could barely breathe. To break it, I had to step forward straight into fear. Every cell in my body screamed to stop. My legs shook. My heart pounded. My throat felt impossibly fragile, tears burning behind my eyes. I closed them, took 1 deep breath, then another. And on the third, something inside of me shifted. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was a quiet calmness, a certainty that if I stepped forward, I wouldn't be destroyed. I'd be free. So I did. I stepped forward and the arrow snapped. For a moment, I just stared at the pieces. Deb's arm wrapped around me and we were jumping and laughing. I had just done the unimaginable. Then came the tears. Hot, unrelenting, tears of relief, disbelief, and victory. Women around me cheered, clapping, shouting. Voices wrapped around me like a chorus of celebration. In that instant, I felt unstoppable, fearless, alive in a way I hadn't for decades. That arrow still hangs on my wall, in a shadow box, and on it, I wrote 1 word, believe. Later, I added 3 more words. Anything is possible. That's what the arrow taught me, believe and anything is possible. But here's the truth. 1 powerful moment doesn't erase a lifetime of self-doubt. Confidence isn't built in a single act. It's built in the daily choices that follow. Some mornings, I woke up strong, reminding myself who I was and what I was capable of. Other mornings chopped away at me, whispering old lies I thought I had silenced. The difference now was that I had proof that I could step forward even when fear screamed at me to stop, proof that I could do hard things, and proof changes everything. That day in Albuquerque didn't just give me a broken arrow, it gave me a new vision of who I was becoming. I wasn't just chasing the strong, confident woman on my vision board anymore. I was beginning to live as her. Some days I stumbled, some days the old fears crept back in. But now I know the key, consistency. Feed my heart, my mind, and guard my heart. Though I thought I'd already seen the worst life could throw at me. Guys, here's the thing. That confidence was huge. But if you don't work at it, if you don't fight for it, it gets chipped away by the hard things in life. And so I want you to know that in the journey of life, the most formidable opponent you're ever going to meet is yourself. And look at your life where you're at and know you fought for it. If you don't like where you're at, look at what beliefs you were fighting to hold on to and change that. I fought to just survive. I fought for a life of dissatisfaction, a life of fear, a life less than. That was my life that I had fought to hold, and I never knew it. I just thought life was handing me a bad hand. I thought that I was never meant for more, but that's not true. So fight those lies that you are telling yourself. If you're going to fight to be somewhere, shouldn't it be in your dreams? Now, here's the honest truth. Your dreams, when you get there, don't always look like how you think they're going to. And you have to fight. You have to keep fighting to make it into what you want, right? And don't be discouraged when it doesn't show up exactly how you imagined. That's okay. You still have more to learn. You still have further to grow. Jim Rohn said, dreams don't come to those who sit back and wait. They come to those who go after them with relentless energy. Are you going after your dreams relentlessly, or are you fighting like I did to hold on to your fears? You heard all the excuses I gave as to why I shouldn't go to Albuquerque. Had I not done that, had I not stepped into huge fear, I still would be getting by every day with no hope, with just survival. And that is not something I want for any of you. There are going to be challenges, but you need to look at them as opportunities. There are going to be setbacks. Those are just lessons you have yet to learn. You're going to face your doubts and insecurities. And you need to recognize them when they show up. They're going to show up as procrastination. They're going to show up as overwhelmed. They're going to show up as being tired. Those are all things set to stop you from going after your dreams, from reaching your dreams. So, what are you going to do when they show up? Are you going to take that deep breath and step into the arrow anyway? Or are you going to say, you know what? I can't do it. There was a room of, 60 to 100 women who had the arrow. One lady didn't show up for herself. She chose not to do the arrow. I can only imagine it is her biggest regret in life because she couldn't get past her fear. Guys, there's no shame in that as long as you don't keep giving up, right? If you give up once, sit, have a conversation with yourself, and go back out and do it again until you finally say, enough. I deserve this. I am no longer going to live in fear. I am going to live in opportunity, in dreams. I am going to become who I am meant to be. This person you see today is nothing like the person I was 7 years ago. I have come so far, and I'm not close to who I want to be. So this person you see today going into 2026 is not going to be the person you see coming out of 2026, because my dreams are huge, and I'm going to keep fighting for them, and I'm going to break every single arrow I have to break in order to have them. I want you to look and see what your arrow is that you need to break. There is something that is stopping you. There is something that is telling you why you don't deserve it. And I'm telling you, you deserve the life of your dreams. So, my question for you is 2026 going to be another year of giving into fear? Or is this going to be the year that you choose you, that you choose to become your best you. Let this be the year you choose to become your best you, because guess what? You deserve it. And there is no reason you can't have it. Just get out of your head. Quit listening to that voice. I know it still shows up for me, and I have to fight it loud. I have to be super aware, because the bigger my dreams are, sometimes the louder the doubt becomes, right? And so sometimes I don't even realize it's doubt. Sometimes I'm just like, today I'm just really too tired. And about half hour in, I'm like, this is me stopping me. And so don't start 2026 that way. Don't end 2026 that way. This is the year that you become your best you. Get out there, start it today. Do not let anything stop you from becoming who you're meant to be.
Hey, thank you for having watched that episode of Dreams Don't Expire. I'm just Janae, reminding you, this is your time to rise. Your time to believe in who you are, to become who you are meant to be. So get up, go after those dreams, because guess what? You deserve them.